My name's Mark. I work as an accountant for a mid-sized company. On paper, it sounds stable, right? 9-to-5 job, steady paycheck, roof over my head, family at home. The so-called American dream. But let me tell you something. It felt like that job was sucking the life out of me. Day in, day out, I was buried in spreadsheets, chasing deadlines, putting out fires. By the time I dragged myself home, I was already running on fumes. And home wasn't the safe haven I thought it'd be. One night at dinner, my son looked me straight in the eye and said, "Dad, why did you even marry Mom? She can't even help me with homework." Dude, man, that cut deep. The whole table went dead silent. My wife stared down at her plate, holding back tears. I snapped at my kid. "Enough. Don't you ever talk about your mom like that. She gave up everything for this family." But the truth is, I felt powerless. I wasn't protecting her. I wasn't connecting with my son. In their eyes, I was just this grumpy, worn-out guy who brought home a paycheck. Later that night, I sat alone in my home office, laptop screen still glowing, my own reflection staring back at me pale, tired, hollow-eyed, and I asked myself, who am I? Really, a failed husband, a distant father, or just some money machine with no soul? Yeah. I lived like that for years, running on anxiety, burning out, completely empty inside, until one day, something flipped. I stumbled across an idea so strange, yet it shook me awake, that maybe the world we see is just an interface, like wearing a VR headset, not the real thing. And from that moment on, my life started to change. If you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever wondered who you really are, beyond the grind, stick around with me here on the Truth MD, because what I'm about to share might just chan. And the real cracks showed up at home. One night, my wife slammed her fork down at the dinner table and said, "Mark, you're never really here. Birthdays, school plays, even dinner, you're a ghost in your own house." And before I could even open my mouth, my son jumped in. "Yeah, Dad, you're like a robot. You work, you eat, you sleep. That's it. You don't even laugh with us anymore." Dude. Damn, that cut me to the bone. I felt my chest sink, like someone just ripped my heart out and threw it on the floor. I wanted to fight back, to defend myself. So I said the only thing I knew. "I'm doing this for you guys. I'm busting my ass so you can have a good life." But even as the words left my mouth, I knew they were hollow, because the truth is, they didn't want the paycheck. They wanted me, and I was MIA. That night, after everyone went to bed, I sat in my home office with just the blue glow of my laptop, piles of bills on one side, unfinished reports on the other. And then it hit me. My chest tightened. Breath got short. My heart was pounding like a drum in my ears. My hands were shaking so bad I couldn't even dial 911. I thought, this is it. I'm having a heart attack. Game over. And right there, between gasps, drenched in sweat, this insane thought crept in. What if this whole damn life is just some kind of game, and I'm losing? It was like my headset had cracked, like everything I believed in the job, the grind. The American dream was just smoke and mirrors. And the scariest part, I couldn't unsee it. That question wouldn't leave me. It haunted me every single breath after that night. You know what hit me next? Evolution. I used to think our eyes, our ears, everything we sense, it's the truth, right? Like we're seeing reality as it is. But nah, turns out Mother Nature doesn't give a damn about truth. Evolution didn't design your senses to show reality. It designed them to keep you alive long enough to pass on your genes. That's it. Think about it. In nature, creatures that saw the truth often got wiped out, but the ones that saw just enough to eat to mate, to survive. They made it. Like there's this crazy example. A male beetle once kept trying to mate with empty beer bottles. Why? Because the glass was shiny and brown, bigger than any female beetle he'd ever seen. To him, that was a jackpot. Reality didn't matter, just the signal. And here's the kicker. Aren't we the same? I mean, look at me. I kept chasing shiny things too, promotions, a bigger paycheck, a nicer car. Thought they'd prove I was a good husband, a good father, a somebody, but deep down, I was just like that damn beetle, stuck on a beer bottle, mistaking signals for truth. Deadlines, money, job titles, they are survival icons, not reality. Useful, but not ultimate. And man, when I realized that, it felt like someone ripped the blindfold off. No wonder I felt empty. I was living in a world of shortcuts, icons thinking they were the real thing. Like the saying goes, I couldn't see the forest for the trees. All I saw were the little icons, and I missed the deeper picture, the truth. Here's what finally broke me. It wasn't another fight at home. It wasn't even the panic attacks. It was a Tuesday night on I-405, rain coming down sideways, wipers screaming, me dead on my feet. I was half-assing a quick Slack reply at a red light, telling myself I could handle one more thing. Light flips green. I roll forward, and out of nowhere, a truck blows the red, straight into my driver's side. Bung. Airbag detonates like a gunshot. Glass rains down like snow. My chest feels like it's on fire. The whole car stinks of burnt plastic and blood. I can't breathe. For a split second, one thought, this is it. Game over. And then the reel starts rolling. My kids smile at his last school play. My wife, wiping away a tear, she thought I didn't notice. The empty chair at dinner. Mine. And this wave hits me. If I had one more morning, I wouldn't be buried in emails. I'd be flipping pancakes. Paramedics tear the door open, strap my neck, flood me with light. One of them grabs my shoulder. You're lucky to be alive. Men, stay with me. I did. Barely. In the ER, staring at ceiling tiles with my chest bruised and a neck brace holding me down, something finally clicks. All the things I've been killing myself for, deadlines, titles, bigger checks, were built on a pile of ifs. If I hit the number, then we'll be safe. If I get the title, then I'll be respected. If I provide enough, then I'll deserve love. But that truck didn't give a damn about my ifs. 1 second. Green light. Next second. Lights out. My whole operating system was running on assumptions I never even questioned. Evolution didn't wire your senses for truth. It wired them for shortcuts just enough to survive. What you see isn't reality. It's a user interface. Icons your brain throws up so you can act fast and cheap. Space and time. Wallpaper. A desktop background. Not the source code. Money. Titles. KPIs. Those are survival icons. Useful. Sure, but not reality. Confuse them for the real thing. And you end up like the beetle humping a beer bottle, chasing the signal, missing the truth. How that smacked me in the face. I'd been mistaking proxies for the prize, chasing status as if it meant safety or love. But real safety, one random truck proves you're never in control. And love, it's presence, not a paycheck. I was playing the wrong game. My brain kept flashing icons. Earn more, climb higher, be somebody, efficient for genes, terrible for a human heart. Worst of all, the illusion of control. I lived by if-then rules. If I just push harder, then we'll be okay. But when risk of ruin is never zero, trading your health and family for extra KPIs is a sucker's bet. And here's the evidence check. In the ambulance, the only things that felt real were a paramedic's hand on my shoulder and the thought of my son's face. Not my title, not my inbox, just love. That's data you can't ignore. When they wheeled me past the waiting room, I saw my wife pale, shaking, clutching our boy, and my heart just cracked. The thought wouldn't leave. If I don't walk out of here, the last version of me my son remembers is a ghost in his own house. That was the knife twist. Not dying as a stranger to the two people I love most. Right there, I made a deal with myself. If I get a second chance, I stop living by icons. I drop the avatar, provider bought, title chaser, always on guy. I built a new interface on purpose one where love and presence are full screen, and work stays minimized in the toolbar. And the question that cracked me open was this: if my job, my roles, my avatar aren't the real me, then who am I without the mask? Science maps 0% of ultimate reality because every theory rides on assumptions. To know who you are beyond the headset, you don't add more concepts, you subtract them. Sit in silence. Watch the labels fall off. Let the avatar drop. That's where the real journey starts. Not on a beach, not on a mountain, but in a chair, phone off, with the truth finally on. Next, I'll walk you through the steps I took to rewire my attention, rebuild trust at home, and re-enter work without selling my soul. Stick around with the Truth MD, because if any of this hits close to home, the next part is where we turn the lights back on. Walking out of that hospital, neck stiff, ribs bruised, I knew something had to change. And I'm not talking about some New Year's resolution that dies by February. I mean, rewiring the way I live. Here are 5 shifts that pulled me out of the hole, and maybe, if you're where I was, they can help you too. I used to wake up and check email before my feet hit the floor. Now, 10 minutes, no phone, just breathing. At first, it felt pointless, like I was wasting time. But here's the thing. Silence resets the nervous system. It gives your brain space to stop chasing icons and just be that 10 minutes. It's the firewall between me and another panic attack. My son doesn't care if the spreadsheet balanced. He cares if I'm in the stands at his game. So I started blocking my calendar for family the same way I'd block it for a board meeting. Non-negotiable. Presence isn't extra, it's the whole point. Love is not a line item, it's the operating system. After the accident, my doctor said, walk every day, just walk. At first, it felt silly, but moving the body burns off the cortisol. It teaches your nervous system you're safe. Some people chase therapy, supplements, biohacks. I just walked the neighborhood. Rain, shine, didn't matter. That was my meditation in motion. I used to think winning meant a title on LinkedIn. Now, winning is pancakes on Saturday morning. Winning is being the guy my wife actually laughs with, not just pays bills with. Redefining success broke the spell. I realized I'd been playing the wrong game all along, optimizing for status instead of connection. Here's the hardest one. Every day I ask, what mask am I wearing? Provider bot. Mr. Always available. Tough guy who never breaks. And then I practice dropping it, even if it's just telling my wife, I'm scared too. Or telling my son, I don't know. Let's figure it out together. Or that vulnerability. That's where love actually lives. That's where anxiety can't breathe. Here's the thing. Those 5 shifts didn't just help me sleep better or argue less at home. They cracked something deeper open. Because once the noise died down, I started asking questions I'd never dared touch before. If the old scoreboard, money, titles, being the hero provider, wasn't the real win, then what's left? Who am I? Really, when the masks drop. That accident didn't just break my ribs, it broke my autopilot. And when the dust cleared, I realized the truth was hiding in plain sight. Life isn't just about patching up the cracks in your headset. It's about asking who's wearing it in the first place. Science can tell us how neurons fire, but not why love makes a man change his life. It can measure stress hormones, but not the meaning of holding your kid's hand. To find out who you are beyond the headset, you don't add more noise. You subtract it. Silence, observation, dropping the avatars one by one, until what's left is the raw experience of being alive. And that's where my real journey started, not on a vacation, not in a seminar, but in the quiet moments at home, learning to live without the mask. Stick with me, because in the next part, I'll share exactly what that looked like, step by step. This is where the shift from surviving to actually living begins. And if this is landing for you, hit subscribe to The Truth MD so you don't miss the part where we turn pain into purpose. I used to wake up and the first thing I'd check was email, like my worth was hiding in that inbox. Now, first thing I check is whether my kid wants pancakes. I stopped clinging to titles. Manager, director, VP. It doesn't matter. Those were just stickers on my headset. What actually matters is whether my son remembers me being there at his baseball game, not on some Zoom call in a hotel room. At work, I stopped playing the prove yourself game. I show up curious, not desperate. When I don't know something, I say, teach me. And the crazy part, people respect that more than when I was pretending to have it all figured out. And at home, dinner isn't just food anymore. It's eye contact. It's laughter. It's actually tasting the meal instead of rushing through it with my mind on tomorrow's deadlines. I realized something simple but radical. Happiness isn't in the next promotion or the next raise. It's in love, and in that childlike wonder we were all born with but buried under KPIs and calendars. The truth. When you start living like that, the world doesn't shrink. It opens. Colors get brighter, conversations get deeper, and even work feels lighter because it's no longer your identity, just part of your canvas. In science, they'll tell you space-time is just an interface. In life, the same rule applies. Titles, paychecks, deadlines, they're just icons. The real reality, love, curiosity, presence, that's what endures when the screen goes dark. So if you've been grinding, chasing, gasping for air the way I was, hear me out. You don't need to win the rat race. You just need to step off the wheel. And in the next part, I'll share the simplest practices that helped me keep this shift alive, day by day, so it's not just a near-death wake-up, but a way of living. Stick around with The Truth MD, because this is where survival ends, and living actually begins. You know what happiness looks like to me now? Not the corner office, not the big paycheck. It's walking my kid to school with the sun on our backs. It's laughing with my wife over burnt toast. It's breathing, really breathing, without that weight on my chest. For so long, I thought life was a scoreboard. Turns out, it's a playground. The reality you see, just a game. You are not the little avatar running through it. You are infinite. You are more than every title, every deadline, every if-then your mind ever sold you. So live with love. Live with that childlike curiosity you buried years ago. Because reality will always be bigger, wider, and more beautiful than you ever imagined. And if you take anything from my story, let it be this. Happiness isn't someday, it isn't after the promotion, or once the bills are paid off. Happiness is presence. It's love. Right here, right now. That's the real game. And it's the only one worth playing.